Upcoming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the upcoming video games of October 2017. My name's Globco, and holy crap, we didn't upload anything last month, did we? Alright, I think we should have a talk. You and me. Not now, later, because right now it's time for October, and oh my god, this is a strong month. There's really something here for everyone, and if you can't find a single game that you're interested in this month, you might as well give up on video games. It's hard to find a month this promising. Let's start with some vroom vroom from Microsoft. Forza Motorsport 7 is Xbox's trademark simulation racing game, ready for 4K gaming on PC and on the upcoming Xbox One X. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen is coming to the current gen consoles. This is the re-release that happened a couple of years back for PlayStation 3 and the 360 that included all of the DLC. Yeah, that game is now coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. The second episode of Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within is also coming out on the 3rd. I haven't been following it this season. Is it any good? Does anyone out there know? Shout in the comments if you do, I'm curious about it. Battle Chasers Night War comes to you from the former members of the Darksiders team. And if you've been following this channel, you guys know I like some Darksiders. Now, just like Darksiders is a nice tribute to the Legend of Zelda series, Battle Chasers pays homage to the great RPGs of old, like the Final Fantasy series. It promises creative and innovative mechanics within traditional formats, like the turn-based combat, typical from JRPGs, the isometric dungeon crawling with tons of surprises waiting at every corner, and paired up with this beautiful art style, this game deserves a spotlight. Moving on to Thursday, A Hat in Time also seems to be heavily inspired by some classics. This time we're talking about the early 3D platformers like Super Mario 64, Banjo-Kazooie, or Super Mario Sunshine, with constantly evolving and changing mechanics that keep the game fresh and fun throughout the entire journey. Now, the graphics look a bit underwhelming, but the game could still be fun regardless. From the trailer, I can see a lot of different elements on how you play this game that could keep everything very interesting. And before we move on to Friday, Axiom Verge is coming out on the Nintendo Switch, and this might finally be the time that I play it. This is a Metroidvania, very retro, but makes very good use of current technology, and I've heard nothing but good things about this game, and I'm usually a big fan of Metroid-like games, despite not being a fan of the actual Metroid games at all. Funny enough, I've been wanting to try Axiom Verge for a while. I think I even have it on Steam, but with it coming to the Switch, this might finally be the time that I play it. And we've reached Friday, which we're gonna call this one the Nintendo 3DS Day. We've got a new Professor Layton game, or actually this time, it's Lady Layton. Layton's mystery journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy, follows a new protagonist, which is the daughter of Professor Herschel Layton, who seems to be missing. Like the previous games, you'll need to solve puzzles and explore the environment to progress through the story. And we've also got a Mario game this month, probably not the one you were waiting for though, because I'm talking about Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. This is an enhanced remake of the 2003 Game Boy Advance game with an added story quest, amiibo support for that story quest, updated graphics, soundtrack, and controls. The original story seems to be the same as the original game, but there have been some alterations to the gameplay. The following week sees the much anticipated sequel to Shadow of Mordor. Middle-earth Shadow of War expands on the critically acclaimed Nemesis system. The story continues. You still play as Talion, who is possessed by the spirit of the elf lord Celebrimbor, which gives him special powers. You still play in an open world from a third-person perspective. At its core, it's very much like the previous game, but they've built up the Nemesis system to give you the ability to, like, build armies to take down enemy strongholds. And there are a lot more weaknesses and strengths for each nemesis, more abilities at your disposal as well, and loot crates. Yeah, that last one I could do without. There's some controversy regarding some of the decisions made for this game, but hopefully the positive changes, the improvements to gameplay are enough to make this an enjoyable experience. Goddamn loot crates in every single game. On the same day, the Metro series developers are releasing an Oculus Rift game called Arctica 1. It's a post-apocalyptic game set in the near future where global warming has frozen the planet. At its core, it's a shooter, but it's also a story-driven game. There's a campaign that you play through with different gameplay moments, so you can expect some variety there. The following Friday has The Evil Within 2, after we were all burned by the first game, which looked so good and turned out so mediocre. Bethesda is looking to redeem themselves with a sequel. The gameplay seems similar, which is fine in my book. The basic controls and mechanics on the first game were good. It was just a tedious game. It was slow. All the best ideas was stuff that we'd seen in Resident Evil 4 previously, so it just didn't do anything that felt that fresh. So if the level design, the enemy encounters are a bit more creative this time around, this could be a good game. I'd say this is definitely a wait and see. Jumping to next week, October 17th brings us South Park: The Fractured But Whole, a new chapter in the South Park RPG. It follows the same style as The Stick of Truth, but instead of playing in medieval times, the kids are now playing as superheroes. With a lot of new mechanics applied to the turn-based combat, gameplay seems a bit more engaging, and if it's anything like The Stick of Truth, I will enjoy playing this game a lot. On the same day, there's a wrestling thing coming out, just like it does every year, I guess. Even wrestling fans don't think these games are good. I don't get why they still buy them. Sony is also bringing out their Vroom Vroom this month with Gran Turismo Sport. It's been a while since this series has seen daylight, and fans are finally getting a Gran Turismo on PS4. If you're not into that, the 17th is also bringing Megaton Rainfall, which is a game about destroying pretty much everything. The game comes out for PlayStation 4 and can be played with a PlayStation VR or not, it's up to you. And you're an interdimensional superhero saving the world from an alien invasion. Collateral damage shouldn't be a concern, probably. The 17th is also bringing Alex, I don't know. It's an action RPG, looks clunky and janky, but it's set in a fantasy world that seems interesting and fleshed out. You guys know me at this point, I can't pretend to be excited for games that just don't look that good. I love to be surprised, but right now this game just looks Lex. The last game of the 17th is the remaster of Rogue Trooper, the PlayStation 2 and Xbox game from back in 2006. It's a third-person shooter based on a comic, and the remaster is coming to PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and later on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, moving on to the 19th, let's call this one the Strategy Day. First up, we have the definitive edition of the classic Age of Empires. My favorite thing about this definitive edition is the website, where you can check out the graphics. This is the old graphics, and this is the new graphics. And for those still playing City Skylines or looking to jump back in, there's an expansion coming out called Green Cities, where you can paint your cities green at last. Now it's just adding a few options for you to build Earth-friendly towns like electric vehicles or organic shops, stuff like that. We've reached another Friday, and you know what that means. It's Nintendo Day. First up with another Warriors game, this time using the Fire Emblem license. Fire Emblem Warriors is pretty much what you would expect. And Siberia is also coming to the Switch. This is a game from 2002, came out on the PC originally, and later on PlayStation 2 and Xbox. A remake was made in 2014 for the PlayStation 3 and the 360, and now we have a new version coming for the Switch. Moving on to the following Tuesday, PC players can finally play Destiny 2 at last. And I just got my Platinum on PlayStation 4, so I think I'm done with Destiny 2 until the next update coming on December. But I don't mean to say that just to brag, I mean to say that to give you context. I'm saying that I play this game a lot, and it is very, very good. Destiny 2 is a goddamn masterpiece. I have my gripes and problems with the game, but it is very good Destiny. On the same day, we get Hidden Agenda. This is a PlayLink game. You know, those games that you can play with your friends on your phone, on your PlayStation. Well, this is it. This is the game that I was excited because of the technology. So if this doesn't work, it's bye-bye PlayLink. This comes from the developer of Until Dawn, and it's a story where you make decisions together as a group. But also, each player is treated as an individual. Sometimes you get a hidden agenda on your phone, and the other players won't know about it. So the game will test how much you trust your friends and how much they trust you. I definitely want to try this out. We've also got Just Dance 2018, which I believe was the first game ever announced for the Nintendo Switch. At the time, it was even called the NX. It still had the project codename. Anyway, you dance, just like every year. And still on the 24th, let's get some Japanese horror in here. Yomawari Midnight Shadows is pixely, it's isometric, looks a bit retro, but the lighting and the monster design are very, very impressive. This is a sequel to Yomawari Night Alone, if you play that, and it's a game about finding a way home in this haunted town. If you like the look of it, give this game a chance. Moving on to one of the busiest days of the entire year, October 27th. I hope you're ready for these 3 massive games that are about to drop on the exact same day. First up, Super Mario Odyssey. One of the biggest gaming franchises, if not the biggest, is back for the Nintendo Switch. You get to explore different worlds, each one with their own challenges that you can just find organically or actually talk to people and get quests from them. You can go in the store and buy outfits and upgrades, and the hat mechanic dramatically changes the game. Mario can now throw the hat, and the hat is called Cappy, and it has eyes. And through the hat you can take over enemies and then move around and use their abilities. It's a ton of fun. I love the design, I love the gameplay from the little I played of it. It is probably the most anticipated game for me this month. Meaning I probably won't be giving the next games a chance, at least for a while, but I do want to play them both. First up, it's Assassin's Creed Origins. It takes the assassins to Egypt, which to be fair is one of the few settings that could get me hyped for a new Assassin's Creed game. This time they're making it a loot game as well, where enemies can just drop weapons or gear with varying stats and rarity levels, which I actually think is a good fit for an Assassin's Creed game. If anything, they're trying something different from the looks of it, and that was the big problem with this franchise. It was getting stale. Even Syndicate, which was a good Assassin's Creed game, felt a bit old at that point. So I hope the changes feel refreshing enough to make this a good comeback for the Assassin's Creed series. And finally, following up on the New Order and the Old Blood, Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Now let me just start by saying that we know that these guys make really good shooters. So the shooting aspect of this game should be, without a question, without a doubt, really, really good. But on top of that, it seems like they're taking a few liberties with this game, like dropping acid in the middle of a war. The performance capture and the acting just seem to be on a whole other level, so the story seems to be very engaging. Obviously, we don't know how good it is, but it seems to be very well acted. It sounds like Wolfenstein 2 is not going to let us down. I told you guys this was a good month, so we'll end with a game that will leave you depressed. Bubsy's back, and he looks like this. Hooray! And those are the October games. As usual, let me know what you're playing this month in the comments down below. And I haven't forgotten that we still need to have a little talk about this whole channel. Again, yes, I still don't know what to do with it. So if you could also go ahead and let me know, what would you like to see from me? Or from us? Why are you subscribed to this channel? Is it just for the upcoming videos? Which, if so, I totally understand and that's okay. But yeah, try to answer that question. Why are you here? What do you want from me? What could I give to you that you can't find on other channels? I might take those comments, I might do a vlog later discussing some ideas and see what you guys are into or what you're not into. Let's try to make something happen out of this channel, because it's been confused for you know, few weeks, a few months, maybe even a few years. In the meantime, leave us a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. I've been Globku. Take care, folks. Bye.